Well, friends, we will resume our session on articulation and pronunciation from where we left. And this part of the session, post-tea session, is going to be very, very more interesting to you because we are going to have a lot of exercises also. I'll request Madam, please carry on.
Thank you so much. Thank you. So here we are going to learn about how to be a good speaker. And we are also going to do some exercises related to that. So welcome back. I'm going to begin with the common problems. Actually, picking on from where we stopped in the last session before the break. The common problems that we have. For instance, the letters. I told you already about the pronunciation of t or t, which we don't have in Hindi. Then th as it keeps changing. Were. Then there is the sound of dg. The combination of dg is problematic, like in bridge. So the stress we have to lay on j, which may not be correctly understood by a non-native speaker. Bridges. We don't have such sounds. Then j, I already spoke about j. Sh may be a problem for some. And z. Where to use the z sound and where to use s sound may be a problem also. For instance, fees, walls. Now, both of them are plurals, but in one place, the s is pronounced as z. In another place, it is pronounced as s. So this may lead to some problems. Z pronunciation, yes. So that may lead to a problem. And z anyway in Hindi is a borrowed sound. We don't have z in Hindi. We have j, jh. Z, that's why we end up saying gajal. It's r, z, la, Urdu. And Urdu has r and z from the glottis. So r is from here. And we don't have that in Hindi. So that's why many people who like to sing ghazals will probably say ghazal because they don't know gh and z sound. Okay. Manner of airflow. How much air do you need? Which articulator do you need to use? Lips, teeth, tongue, gum bridge, hard palate. We have to recognize that. So gh comes from here. We have to recognize that, and then speak. Then the unusual sounds. See, we can have unusual sounds for English also. It's not that English has all the sounds. And in native languages, we don't have those sounds. For instance, M-B-E-E, M-B, we don't have this kind of sound in English. T-S-U, we may have these sounds in Chinese, in Japanese, su. We don't have in English. So it is possible that there will be sounds in other languages which may not be there in English, or in English which may not be there in other languages. Every language is unique and they have their own sound patterns. That is what I'm stressing here. Okay, I've spoken about breath support, so I'll leave it here. Completeness, that sound has to be complete. This is also something I spoke about already. Okay, now here, this is the part which I really want teachers to pay attention, because as teachers, we don't take care of our sound box. Initially, I started with that. I started with this. See, you want to be an athlete, you want to be a runner, let's say. So you don't suddenly go on the field and start running a marathon. You want to run a marathon, you will start 6 months in advance, running for short distances. You will strengthen your calf muscles. You will do little exercises so that you are able to run the marathon. You will not jump into a marathon and decide one day that I'm going to be a runner. You want to lift weights. You want to be a weightlifter. You will slowly start lifting half kg, 2 kg, and then start lifting 10 kgs and 15 kgs. You won't suddenly go one day and say, today I'm going to lift 15 kgs. So those muscles which you need for usage, you have to practice on on smaller exercises and strengthen those muscles. So you strengthen your biceps, your triceps and shoulder muscles and all of them for a long, long time, and then you become a weightlifter. And the muscle of the tongue or the other articulators, we use endlessly all the time, inside classroom, outside classroom, in formal discussions, informal discussions. We talk, talk and talk and do not take care. Think about it. We don't take care. We don't exercise our articulators. We don't pay attention to the tongue, like I told you. We don't do all these things. And that is why teachers, mostly, teachers who talk all their life, who speak as a profession, end up having these problems. Hoarseness. Voice, you will notice over the years, your voice changes. There is a certain hoarseness in your voice. You keep getting this, this problem all the time. You want to clear your throat. There's some catch in your throat, scratching inside your throat. These are the disorders that we can end up having if we don't exercise our articulators. Voice misuse can result from using the wrong speaking pattern, wrong meta communication also. You may have chronic dry throat, tightness in the throat. Wrong pitch levels can do this, you know. What happens is we cannot differentiate between pitch and volume when we are speaking. This is a very common mistake that we make, and I'm sure physics people have understood this immediately, that one has to do with frequency, you know, and one has to do with volume. There is a difference in pitch and volume. I'll give you an example. For instance, I want to call somebody who's at the back. So I'll say, Ramesh, 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 Ramesh. What am I doing? I'm increasing the volume. And what we do commonly, Ramesh, 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 Ramesh. Notice that? We change the pitch. We change the pitch rather than the volume. You see, my pitch should not change even when I speak loudly. It should remain the same. So we have to recognize our pitch. Okay, a better example would be when you try to sing. If you're listening to a Lata Mangeshkar song, you want to sing in her pitch. Have you noticed that? Asha Bhosle's song, you want to sing in her pitch. Her pitch is different. But try to sing that song in your own pitch. Probably you will be able to carry it. But when you sing it in her pitch, after some time, the voice will crack because her pitch is very high. Her pitch is different. So there's nothing wrong in having a lower pitch. But we tend to copy the pitch. And when we do that, our throat, it dries off and the voice comes out screeching and unnatural. So that is a problem, wrong pitch level. And we do shout. We do speak loudly because we have large classes. We have to speak loudly. And when we speak loudly, we generally change our pitch because we feel that this pitch with higher frequency will go a longer range. So we'll be heard better at the back. But then we are ruining our throat in that process. So we try to maintain our own pitch levels, okay? You can have periods of voice loss. Many teachers are known to have, got voice rest by the doctor. Take voice rest. Don't speak for 2 days because your voice needs rest. That means we have misused it, and that is why it needs rest. So we have to not reach that position at all. Be so careful in our speaking that we don't. And when we talk during illness, so we try to avoid talking during illness because it strains our entire body and it strains our articulators. So when we are ill, when we are not well, and yet we want to take the classes, then let's do some other things like making the students read or something, so that you don't have to speak too much. Poor posture. Posture, why am I talking about posture when I'm talking about speech is a question. Because I don't just speak from my mouth. I speak from my entire body. Every part of a human being speaks when they are speaking. The eyes speak, the face speaks, the hands speak, as you can see. So we need to use our body effectively in order to be a good speaker. Okay, I'll just give you an example. You've done a session on body language, I know, but when you connect it with speech. So if I'm like this, excessive talking during illness, poor posture, all of them can affect your speech. You have to be very careful about how you use your speech patterns. You see, I've not changed my accent. I haven't changed my style of speaking. All I have changed is my body language. So don't hunch your shoulders, straighten up, never cross your hands, let the hands be free. Hands are a problem for most new speakers. When you are a new speaker, a new teacher, the first thing that bothers you is what to do with the hands. Because if you look at your structure, hands are two limbs hanging from the side. If you don't do anything with them, then they hang very funnily. Then you don't know how to, make use of them. And hands can actually be the best speech organ, because they can actually take your speech forward many steps ahead of what you are saying just by the use of hands. So learn to use your hands effectively, and you can immediately establish trust with the audience, and also a connection with the help of hands. This is one of my favorite gestures, and this is one of the best gestures, the open palm. If your audience can see your palm during your speech, immediate trust is established. This is a part of body language which you use while speaking. Now, this cannot be unnatural. You cannot say, "Mera haath dekh lo." You cannot do that. You have to weave it into your style of speaking in such a manner that you show your palm and yet don't appear unnatural. So I have been doing it throughout since morning. I have been using this gesture. I use this gesture very effectively, I think. And I don't appear unnatural because I have practiced. I have practiced the use of hands. When you are sitting down and listening, this is a gesture of attention and thoughtfulness. Since listening is a part of speech, you have to appear to be a good listener, not just a good speaker, because you can be a good speaker only when you are a good listener. So when you are speaking, you are speaking. When you are not speaking, you are listening. And if you are listening like this, then your audience likes to believe you and they want to talk to you because they believe that you are paying attention, and you are very thoughtful of what is being said. And this is such a simple gesture. And it tells you what to do with your hands also, instead of something, This is so convenient and so settled and makes you appear intelligent and thoughtful also. So using the hands, what men do, sir, men put their hands in their pockets, and that's the worst thing while speaking, putting the hands in the pocket. Women tend to put their hands at the back like this, and this is the worst. When you are not using your best speech organ, you have hidden it from view. So bring it out, loosen it, and then use it. Use it effectively. Okay, never cross. So these are little hints from body language. Pronunciation problems. Wrong spelling will lead to wrong pronunciation. Mother tongue interference. This is what Sir was talking about. You see, what I believe, all of us have a native mother tongue, first of all. All of us have a rural background. All of us come from somewhere and go somewhere. We are not born here. We are all settlers from different places. We have a mother tongue. All of us have. And like Sir was saying, that he has mother tongue interference in his English, all of us have mother tongue influence in their English. None of us can say that our English is so perfect that there is no mother tongue influence. So you have to be a teacher in English and in phonetics to actually be able to totally remove, or an expert teacher, I won't say teacher, I'll say expert, to totally remove mother tongue influence. But even then, if you're not a native, mother tongue, like the blessing of a mother, will stay with you. And even if it is not apparent in all the words, it'll come out in some word, in some part of some word, you know, when you are speaking, it'll come out somewhere. So just as a mother's hand never leaves, a mother's blessing never leaves your side, mother tongue stays with you. And so I don't think in communication, at least, I'm not talking about English and linguistics and phonetics, I'm talking about communication as such. It's okay. I believe it's okay to have a little bit of mother tongue influence. We should not get unduly worried. We should not start thinking that our English is not perfect just because mother tongue influence is there sometimes. It is a problem in pronunciation, and too much of mother tongue influence would probably make you unintelligible. But we can remove it a little bit, but let's not be so complexed about it that we want to remove it totally and, you know, feel less confident in front of people in speaking just because there is some mother tongue influence. I'm certain by now you know which part of the country I come from, because there is mother tongue influence in my English also. So if you if you listen closely, you will find the mother tongue, just as our mother is somewhere there in us, you know. Then strong and weak sounds is a problem because we don't know. Stress is a problem. I already discussed these. So if you want to remove mother tongue influence, you have to practice. Okay, you have to practice. Intonation is that part which we can easily practice and take care of, the meta communication part. And that is why the exercises that I brought with me are related to intonation, because that we can immediately and consciously train ourselves to improve. Sorry. Some errors in pronunciation stem from using words which you are less familiar. If you don't know the word, you've heard it for the first time. And so obviously you will have a problem pronouncing it. So whenever you want to use a new word in a formal setting, learn the pronunciation. There is one advice I want to give you, which has helped me which has helped me all my life, is that practice is what I require in order to be a good speaker. If you've ever heard anybody speaking well, if you feel that you want to speak like a certain person, you admire them so much because of how they speak, let me assure you, they have practiced a lot. Some people come on the stage and say, I haven't prepared at all. And then they go ahead and deliver an elaborate speech, excellently woven, intricately woven speech. And you are so impressed. Without preparation, they can speak like this. That's not true. They have prepared. Best speakers prepare their speech and they practice their speech. I know some people who say, "ठीक है, stage पे जाएंगे तो कर लेंगे." I know such people, they go there and they say it and they do it. But those who don't practice make mistakes. We are not here as talkers. Everybody is a talker, but we are here as speakers. We should not make mistakes in our speech. And if we don't want to make mistakes, we have to practice. So just read up your lecture before you go to speak in front of students. Your effectiveness will increase manifold if you are able to do that. Another reason for error in pronunciation might be that the people you spend time with are pronouncing it wrongly. Sometimes an entire community is pronouncing the word wrongly, and so it's sort of acceptable. Okay, there are some words like Arctic. Everybody says Arctic Circle. The Arctic. What about etc.? Etc. Everyone in India, everyone, most of us say etc. There is no k. The k sound has been added by us. It is etc., etc., etc. Do we say that? We say etc., etc. We add a k from our side. So all of us do it. So it is acceptable. It is correct then for us. So there can be errors like that. Okay. Elimination, practice and diligence. These are the habits you have formed over the years. So you don't expect that in one day, in one session, in one course, you will take care of everything and you will go out from here as big experts in communication. It does not happen. You will have to practice, you will have to learn, relearn, all these things. So the change will not happen overnight, but if you keep on practicing, you can speak much better because you have to listen to good speeches. Okay, listening is a part of speech, and so is silence. Silence is a part of speech. How many of us use silence effectively in our speech? Tell me. We never think of silence. We never try to experience silence. Sometimes silence can be very confusing. Sometimes it can be intimidating. If somebody is silent for a long time, we start wondering why they are silent. When somebody is silent, when they are thinking, we cannot tolerate it. We want to tell them what they want to think, right? I'll give you an example. If I tell you that I went for a movie yesterday. कल शाम को कहाँ थे? मूवी गए थे. कौन सी मूवी देखी? वो वाली, वो है ना वो. Now what will you do? What will be your reaction? Kahani to force, because my silence is confusing to you. So if I'm taking a few seconds to think, then you will want to fill my silence with words. So every silence we try to fill with words. When we are making a speech and we forget a part, what do? We start thinking aloud. We start doing this because silence कैसे रह सकती है? We'll have to fill it. Fill all the silences. जरा सी silence है, भर दो उसमें, sound भर दो. Just relax and then speak. Did it hurt? I used silence. It's okay. It doesn't hurt. In fact, it increases the effectiveness of the next word that you are going to say. And you can take time to think. What do I want to say next? I can use silence. See, when we write, we have comma, full stop, colon, semicolon, so many methods to display break of idea. And each method means a different thing. So why don't we read them? Why don't we use them when we are speaking? We don't. So I told you about natural pauses. Natural pauses are these commas and the full stops. Full stop is a longer pause. Comma is a shorter pause. So similarly, there is an exclamation mark. So exclamation mark has to be visible in your sound. People should be able to hear the exclamation mark, just as they should be able to hear the question mark, right? So that is important. And that's how you can use silences and pauses in your speech. You've had an exercise in listening. You've had a session on listening. You've had already. So you know all these things. These are different types of listenings. Okay. You've done this, right? Okay. You've done this also. Different types of listeners. That's what we become then. We become monopolistic. When we want to be listened to and we don't want to listen, we become monopolistic listeners. And non-verbal communication, you've done this. These are different aspects of non-verbal communication. This is the aspect that affects us in speech. Pitch, volume. I already told you the difference between pitch and volume. Rate. How fast or how slow do you speak? If you have noticed, I speak very slowly. I speak slowly because I want to use silences and I don't want to flood you with too much of information. When we speak fast, it takes our audience some time to assimilate what we are speaking. You see, it takes about 6 seconds for the audience to understand and fix it, whatever I'm saying, to fix it in some place in their mind. Okay, 6 seconds. If I'm speaking very fast, then there will be information overload. They have not assimilated my previous sentence, and the next sentence comes, and then the next sentence, and this sentence keep, stacking on top of each other. And after a while, when there are too many sentences for my audience to understand, they stop listening because they have to assimilate the previous sentences, and there is information overload by a very fast speaker. So they stop listening. Then they become nodders. Then they are just nodding. And they want you to stop. So why are we speaking? We are speaking to be understood, right? If we did not need to be understood, we would just be thinking. But we are speaking so that my audience understands, listens, understands. That's the reason for speaking. But if that is not happening, then the communication is lost. So rate 120 words per minute, not more than that. 120 to 30, 15 to 30, somewhere in this range. Some books will say 150 also. Depends from region to region, culture to culture. So in some cultures, everybody speaks very fast. So, but here, because we are non-native speakers of English, we have to keep our speech a little slower than native speakers of English because we need to assimilate and understand. So I like 115, 120. That is good enough rate, okay? Pauses, I already spoke about. Non-fluencies are when we are not getting the right word, and so we stammer or we hesitate and we make those sounds. So it's better to, when we are speaking slowly, it's better to speak slowly, because when we are speaking slowly, we can take care of these also. I'll tell you something about stammering. We used to have a teacher who used to stammer, a mass communication teacher who had a stammer. Anybody can have a stammer. So I'm not here to treat stammer, right? That's not my job here. What I'm saying is that if he had he was a bad case of stammering. He used to stammer a lot. What he did was, he used his stammer as a style. And when new students came to the department, for a long time, they didn't know that he spoke in a certain manner because of his stammer. So paralanguage, vocal cues are important. So anytime he wanted to stammer, he vocal, instead of doing that, he would say vocal. And students thought that he was very stylish and he had a different way of speaking. This I have experienced myself. This teacher I have listened to myself and noticed how he was using his stammer in a manner which made his speech very powerful and effective. So instead of being conscious of the stammer and stammering further, he used it as a part of his speech, as part of his style. So non-fluencies can be taken care of by rate and by use of silence and pauses. That can be taken care of also. These are the influencers of pronunciation. Words, the words that you know or you do not know, circumstances where you're speaking, emotional state, you are not able to pronounce well, or you're not able to be articulate when you are emotional. Familiarity with content, new content you don't know how to pronounce. Suddenly, if you give me a text in engineering, I will make mistakes in pronunciation because I will not be used to the words. Expertise in discussion, you don't know your subject. Then obviously how much ever you are articulate or the pronunciations will not help because you cannot participate in discussion. Good listening and apt use of silence. And paralanguage. Paralanguage is very, very important. Never ever in any of my sessions do I say that you don't need to know the subject. All you need to have is a style or good pronunciation or good articulation, and it'll take care of your subject. That's not true. And that's why I keep this slide. I keep this slide so that my teacher friends know that subject knowledge is very, very important. Even if you have good articulation and pronunciation, nobody's going to believe you if you're going to just speak something without knowing the subject. Okay, so do your research, know your subject. That's very, very important. Although I'll give you some data which will shock you after this. Think before you speak, eliminate verbal pauses. Okay, verbal pauses, like doing remove them, just have a silent pause. When you are thinking, have a silent pause. It's okay to be slow. So have a silent pause, right? And practice doing that. Whenever you want to do in front, in front of an audience, just control yourself. Just don't do that. Just don't do it. Be silent. Okay. Pausing makes you look very thoughtful. Vocabulary is important. You cannot keep using the same word again and again, or the same expression again and again. So you need to have a larger vocabulary. I talked about vocabulary in the beginning. The perfect case would be when you could remove contractions from your language, which is difficult though, such as won't, can't, will. Instead of won't, if you say will not, that will be more effective. And instead of hi, say hello. Instead of yeah, say yes. Now, you want to remove slangs. Slangs, because slangs are very deeply rooted in time and space. Different regions have different slangs. Different eras have different slangs. For instance, I was in the South, and so we used to use a convent in South India. So we used to use man. Man was our slang. We used man for everybody, regardless of the gender. Come on, man. Let's go, man. We used to say that. And when I came to the North, people used to look at me strangely when I said man. Because it was common for me to say man to all my friends. Yes, man, let's go. That's the way we used to speak. So when I came to the North and I said man to my friends, so they were like, what is this man? Because it didn't make sense to them. So all of us have in different regions certain slangs, but those slangs should not become part of our speaking vocabulary. So we have to be careful about that, because every audience is different. In a formal or semi-formal presentation, we should use full words. Try to avoid contractions. Of course, exude confidence, look confident, make eye contact. You've done that yesterday. Making eye contact is important. Each person in the class should go back with the idea that you have spoken only to them. And that is why I keep saying, somebody come and sit here, so that I look at the camera once in a while. And I'm so used to looking at the studio audience that I forget that I have to look at the camera, which is inappropriate, because I should look at the camera, which is an eye contact with my audiences far away. So try to make as much eye contact as possible. You be comfortable with your message. To be comfortable with your message, you have to practice. Because even if you are taking the same lecture again and again for 20 years, you do realize that it's a different audience every time. And situations change year after year. So your lecture will have some new aspects, some new examples, some novel ideas as your subject progresses. Things change, so you have to practice. Make your sentences firm and decisive instead of, sometimes we have a way of speaking that makes us sound very tentative, as if we don't really know what we are saying. So we have to be firm when we speak. Practice, practice, practice. 125 words per minute, I say over here. Improving the posture, use of hands. I've discussed all of these things. We are coming to the exercises, sir. Come. Sir is going to help me with the exercises because he does it really well. he takes part in this this part of the session. So these are the breathing exercises. And just as I told you in the beginning that we breathe and we don't know that we are breathing. So let's do these exercises a little bit. And every time you have a longish session or a presentation or something, then do these exercises beforehand. Inhale. So
yeah, I think this breathing exercises, in any case, many of you might be doing pranayama is nowadays coming, a lot of things are coming in TV also. People are motivated. It's really very, very useful. If you want to be a good speaker, as ma'am said, that is all related to your breath.
It is related.
And if you are able to elongate your breath and control your breath at your command, how much you want to release when you are going to say a sentence or a phrase, that this exercise can help you out. Inhale slowly and deeply through the nose. Exhale slowly through the mouth. Try it out at all the people in the studio also and in the
You'll feel it. You'll feel something different.
Every time when you are doing it, let us say every day you are doing it, and today, tomorrow, day after tomorrow, try to increase the length of your inhalation and also the length of your exhalation. When I say that, it means that, let us say in the first day you are able to do it, keep a watch in front of you. Let's say you inhale for 5 seconds, next day 6 seconds, next day 7 seconds, stretch it. This will really help you not only in speaking but in your इससे आपकी बहुत सारी प्रॉब्लम जो है खत्म हो जाती है. Let me not give lecture on the yoga now.
Yes, it's only about speech. It will help you speak better.
Speak better. Yeah. Inhale slowly and deeply through the nose. Exhale slowly, making the sound of ah.
This ah comes from the diaphragm. It comes from here. So loud ah.
Okay. Try it. I want to hear it from you. When you say
no, loudly.
Go in a rhythm. Enjoy the sound. And use your diaphragm. Let the sound come from the stomach, not from the chest, but from the stomach. Then inhale deeply, one by one. I mean, you have to do all of them. First one, second one, now the third one is inhale deeply, exhale in short, explosive bursts. Ha, 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 ha. पहले आप सांस लीजिए लंबा. The trick is, when you feel that you have already inhaled enough, there is still a room for more inhalation.
Yes, you will be amazed.
That is a trick in this. Ha, 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 ha. Make a ha sound.
Similarly, when you are exhaling, after you have exhaled all, there is still
some breath left. That will help you in increasing the length of your inhalation and exhalation. Yes. Centers are, I suppose our participants at various centers are doing. These are really very, very helpful. I have tried it myself number of times. It's really very, very helpful. I try to do it every day.
And this one you can do every day when you are going to work. This next one.
Yeah, inhale slowly and count aloud clearly, announcing each number until you run out of breath. This is also a good warm-up exercise for your articulators.
Inhale and start counting. And every day increase one number.
Yeah, instead of keeping watch, you can actually count mentally.
You can just start counting.
Because you cannot count when you're inhaling loudly.
No, you can inhale and then when you're exhaling, you count.
Even while inhaling also, ma'am, you can
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9,
Yeah.
10, 11, 12, 13, 14.
Let's see in the studio.
15, 18,
You all inhale as I say yes, and then exhale. Counting. Let us see who exhales
Just
maximum.
keep on counting.
Okay.
Now you start counting.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16, 17, 18, 19, 20, 21, 22, 23, 24, 25, 26, 27, 28, 29, 30, 31, 32, 33, 34, 35,
For
36,
as much, as
37,
long as you
38,
can.
39, 40, 41, 42, 43.
Sir is a yoga expert.
Yeah, if I'm left to my own, I can
Count till
go
100.
up to 60, 70 at least.
But
Yeah.
this you can do when you are driving to work. When
Yeah,
you are
this
not
is-
doing anything, you can just do this counting exercise.
Yeah, while going for a small stroll in the
You
evening.
can do it anytime.
But then it will be helpful if you can sit down and keep your back straight. This will further help you out in increasing your breath count. Then read the following sentence as many times as you can on one breath. एक सांस में आपने पूरा सांस भर लिया, फिर सांस छोड़ते हुए जो नीचे सेंटेंस लिखा हुआ है इसको आप कितनी बार रिपीट कर सकते हैं. I would like to invite one of you here.
Yes.
This sentence is filled with the words that use air. जैसे her की साइड मैडम ने बताया अपने लेक्चर के अंदर, her uses maximum sound. This sentence, he hid
Her
at
or
home
sir?
and sobbed when his sister seized wherever he had on top in the thin 5-shelled closet.
इसमें
So-
sir, sh और her हैं बहुत
Yeah.
सारे. हाँ.
Okay, try. Now I let the audience also listen. Okay, try it. Is it written here? You would like to try, ma'am? Anyone of you want to try?
Come, no.
Come. Even if you have written it once, it's okay.
Chalo, it's okay, sir. He hid at home and sobbed when his sister seized whatever he had on top in the thin 5-shelled closet. Now this, if I use my pauses nicely, I can speak. So using the pause and speaking this sentence, knowing how much breath you need for this sentence is the way you can speak it. So speak it as many times as you can. Now somebody will have to come to do
Yes.
these. Huh? We can ask the
Yeah.
centers. Then.
Yes, sir, we can. Take a deep breath and see how far you can read through this grouping of words. Make sure you are making each of the words come alive as you say them. Don't just race through them. Interpret. ये कुछ ग्रुप ऑफ वर्ड्स हैं. आपने इसको
एक सांस में बोलना है,
ऊपर से लेके नीचे तक.
यहाँ पे आके बोलिए.
Collecting and projecting, reading and speeding.
Shall we go to a center?
And shocking and rocking. Yes, ma'am, that will be very interesting, ma'am. Can we go to the center? Collecting and projecting, reading and collecting. Huh? Okay, Cordia Institute में Madam Radha ji hai. Madam, you can ask any volunteer to kindly read this. Are you able to see the slide at Cordia Institute? I want one volunteer from your institute who will like to read this in one breath. Okay.
Hello.
Hello, हाँ ma'am.
I have to read it in one breath.
Yes.
हाँ, एक सांस में आपने पहले अच्छे से सांस भर लीजिए. Then start reading it.
Right, sir. Collecting and projecting, receding and speeding, and shocking and rocking, and darling and parting and threading and spreading, and whizzing and hissing, and dripping and skipping, and hilting and sprinting, and shining and twining.
Well done.
Okay.
Okay.
Now let us go.
Continue.
Make another attempt. Make one more deep breath. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sir,
Maybe some
and battling and shaking and quacking and pouring and roaring and waving and revving and flowing and going and having and giving and forming and roaming and moaning and groaning and dropping and hoping.
Now somebody has to do all of them.
yeah, all of them from beginning to end.
If you are able to do the exercises in the first slide and the second slide, you will be able to do this after a while.
Yeah.
Okay, the entire grouping from top to bottom, you will be able to do that.
Some other volunteer from मैडम किसी और कॉलेज में चलते हैं दिल्ली में कैसी है ओके चौधरी दिल्लीलाल इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ इंजीनियरिंग एंड टेक्नोलॉजी करने वाला कोटा I want to volunteer to kindly come forward and attempt this. The yellow.
Hello. Good afternoon, sir.
Hello. Yes,
Sir from City College.
Okay, City College में है.
Hello. बोलो sir.
Yes, हाँ बोलिए.
पूरा शुरू से.
Collecting and projecting, receding and speeding and stocking and dropping and beginning and parting and swelling and spreading and whizzing and hissing and dripping and skipping and leaping and spitting and shining and whining and rattling and battling and shaking and quaking and roaring and roaring, waving and raving and blowing and going and having and living and foaming and roaming and moaning and groaning and dropping.
Well done.
Well done, and I am sure that in the second attempt you will be able to speak out all of them. So this kind of exercise help you. It challenges you to have a longer breath.
It is a challenging.
Yeah,
You did very well. You did very well.
Okay.
Okay. Sometimes, you know, some speakers are very articulate and they have excellent pronunciation, but they have a lazy voice. Now, how would I demonstrate lazy voice is that if your speech is lazy, tired or monotonous, try running in the place as you speak and an easy song or phrase. Example, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, 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 life is but a dream. Now, everything is fine here. It's the same accent, it is the same sound, same pronunciation, same articulation. What has changed is one is volume, the other is the happiness in the voice. You know, see, since I speak a lot on radio, I realize that the mic actually catches your expression along with the words. The happiness in your voice, it can detect. So when we are speaking on the radio, we have to really smile. Even on the phone, you have noticed, very right. On the phone, there are some people who pick up the phone and when you listen to them, you want to listen to them. And there are some people who will, when they answer the phone, you don't want to listen to them because they sound so monotonous and boring on the phone because their voice does not show a smile. Okay, so that's a lazy voice which is uninterested voice, which is a boring voice, which is monotonous voice. So we have to be careful that we don't have a lazy voice. And for that, this is an exercise which we can do before an important session. Just jump in your own place, standing running in your own place and recite any rhyme that you like. And I promise you, it really works. I do it myself. Standing running, row, row, row your boat gently down the stream, merrily, merrily. You do that, and then you go for your session. There is that excitement and there is that happiness in your voice, which may be lacking otherwise. It takes care of your nervousness also. If there is this nervous energy, which you will go there and display in some form, you know, in some form of tick. When you stand at the lectern, you'll hold the lectern, you'll shake the lectern, you'll adjust your clothes, you will do something with your dupatta, with your cufflinks, with your tie, with your watch, with your chashma. You will be doing all those things to adjust to your surrounding. If you do this exercise, it will be all taken care of even before you go on stage or at the dais. You take care of all this, and then when you go there, then all that nervous energy has been used up. Your voice is happy, you sound peppier and pleasant to your audience. So this is one way of giving energy to your voice. And then this I like because I don't know how many people are going to say nice things to us throughout the day. It's very rare that anybody is going to say good things to you all day long. So, and we have to keep saying good things to other people throughout the day. Yeah? You are a good student, you are a good colleague. In one way or the other, we keep saying these things. So why don't we begin our day with a hello me? Talk to yourself for 1 minute, saying only positive things. It will help you be a confident person. A confident person is a better speaker. Okay, so you go out with very positive feelings about yourself. Yes, you are dressed smartly, you are going to do a good lecture, you have a good personality, you have good speech. Say whatever nice things. For 1 minute, it's so difficult. You'll realize it's so difficult. Just 1 minute of good things to yourself. Why can't we do it? So just do it in the morning once. 1 minute. Give to yourself before you give yourself to other people. Give yourself to yourself. Just 1 minute of nice, excellent speech to yourself. No negative things in this. No negative thing. It's tough, but it can be done. These are the exercises for 4 of the most common problems in speech. One is immovable jaw. Many of us don't open our mouth the amount it should be opened. So we spread the lips in a smile for E, open them for I, and close them for U, repeat. Spread the lips in a smile for E, open them for A, and close them U, to repeat. Exercises to overcome immovable jaw, idle tongue, lazy lips, too much speed. What am I doing? I'm not opening my mouth. And when I don't open my mouth, my volume goes down and my sound is garbled, a little mixed up, confusing, and obviously inaudible. So one is that. Then idle tongue, when the tongue is not moving correctly. Lazy lips, when lips don't move the way they need to move. And too much speed, when we're speaking too fast. So these are the exercises. Spread the lips in a smile for E, open them for A, and close them for O. E, A, O, E, A, O. Just do A, E, A. How much can you open your mouth? You can feel the strain. This is an exercise for your face, your cheeks, your articulators. Everything gets exercised when you do this. E, A, O, E, A, O. And you'll realize at the end of this, do it 5 times and you'll feel garam garam. Just as after running, you feel the heat. So you do this. This is an exercise for your face. Rapidly say da 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 several times. Say ira 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 many times. These are all exercises for the tongue. Imagine that you are a truck. Trill your tongue. As children, we used to do it, but when we got older, we got sophisticated. We don't do it anymore. You'll feel that your tongue is exercised. It's a muscle, I told you. Just as when you run, you exercise your calf muscles. So when you have to speak, exercise your tongue. You'll realize that you are not able to trill. ऐसे हो जाएगा. You're not able to do that. That means the tongue is not moving as per the command of your brain. So there is some problem in training, right? So you have to train your tongue to listen to your command. You want it to move from t to r to t very fast, but it is not doing so. That means something is missing. So you have to practice this. अपने को imagine करो like you are a truck or a car. Huh?
Will you do it once for
Do. जैसे बच्चे नहीं करते हैं कार लेके they keep doing that. They are so imagine, that's what I'm saying. Imagine that you're a truck, so you trill, you do that because it does not happen easily. It does not happen easily, so you have to practice doing it because we forgot doing everything that kids used to do. Tongue twisters, trilling, all this was very common when we were growing up, but we forgot that as we grew up. Then there are these words. This is for the tongue. Keep the tongue forward when you are saying these words. Teeth, deal, tick, dish, tail, thick, nape, table. These are words that involve the use of ta, tha. That means tongue in front. So practice on words like this will help you keep the tongue in front. You need your tongue in front to speak. Lips. Stiff upper lip is one of the causes of mispronunciation. So the exercise for this is pit, pat, pit, pat, pit, pat, pit, pat. Keep on repeating words that have pa or ba several times. Don't lose the ta. Pit, pat, 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 so that we get the pa sound correctly. The last one is jaw opening exercise. Hack, yatch, all the ways in which you can open your jaw. Hack, yatch, dot, paw, yard, dart, tab, tot, dark, ha, tat, lad, all of them in different ways. O, all different ways of opening the jaw. Yeah. There's this little rhyme I like to use. Mrs. Tongue lives in her house, the mouth. Like I told you, tongue is the most important of our articulators. It connects us with all the articulators. So it lives in this house, the mouth. Every morning she mops it from ceiling to floor. First, she sweeps her mop from right to left. Run your tongue in full circle around your cheek walls, across the front of your top and bottom teeth. Repeat 3 times. Now reverse. You'll feel the heat in your mouth. You are exercising and you'll feel it. Next, she sweeps her mop from left to right, right to left, and then left to right. Repeat 3 times. I'm sure all of us have had a grandfather who, when he brushed his teeth, 3-4 gharon dur tak sunai deta tha. When Dadaji used to do manjan. You remember? How come all of us have the same experience? How come manjan was such an important activity to start the day? And now we've forgotten that because we think that it is only for Dadaji to do it. We've forgotten that Dadaji still has a booming voice because he took care of his articulators. So all those sounds he made and cleared his throat, gargled, cleared all the problems in his articulators before he started the day. What do? We just brush for hardly 1 minute and we are out. And we don't take care of the articulators. So that's why people like me have to come and do exercises like this one. You know, it's the same thing. It's the same thing. Run your tongue from right to left, run it from left to right. And this is what they normally used to do. The process of kulla or kulli, which we had, we did that normally, not we don't do it, but our parents, grandparents used to do that. So which we have forgotten, you know. So now we have to restart learning the things which we already knew in childhood. Now she dusts the furniture. Sweep your tongue as rapidly as you can from side to side across the upper teeth. Repeat 10 times. Then she shakes out the rug out of the window. What is the rug? The tongue is out of the mouth. It is out. You pull it as far out as possible. जितना बाहर जा सके. And you'll realize that. And when we were children, we used to do this, na, naak ko chuna hai, ye chuna hai with the tongue. Those exercises helped to put our tongue in front. But as we became more and more sophisticated, we stopped doing all those things. So we started keeping our tongue pulled far back, right? So everything, you know, our childhood had some reason. We realize that now. So stick out the tongue, extend as far as you can, and move it rapidly up and down 10 times, as far as possible. Lastly, she sweeps away the cobwebs from around the front door. Stick the tongue out as much as you can. Sweep it from right to left, outside of the lips, left to right. So do this and repeat 3 times. Now you are ready. Then you wash your face. With this exercise, you are ready. You have cleared all your articulators. You have exercised your mouth, exercised your tongue, a little bit of trilling. And then as you drive to work, start your count. And you are ready to take on the day. That's the way you can do it. How does a speaker impact an audience? How you look accounts for 55%. I'm sorry to say, but this is true. Your clothes, your facial expression, your stance, the way you carry your body, the leaning of the body, where you keep your feet, the way you move your hands, your eyes, all these things, 55% of impact. How you speak, your pronunciation and your articulation, 38%. And what you say is only 7% of impact. But in order to use all these 55 plus 38%, you need to know your 7%, right? You need to know your content 100% for that to have the effectiveness at all. But on the other hand, you may know all the 100% of your content, but if you're not able to impress in the above 2 manners, then even 7% impact is not possible. Right? You will have less and less impact on your audience. So we have to be very careful about that. I'll leave the reflection part. And I'll go to these commonly mispronounced words, since pronunciation is also part of the talk today. These are commonly mispronounced: affidavit, 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 Antarctic, just like Arctic, Antarctic, Antarctic. What about this one? How do you pronounce this? February. February. We say February. We say February. February. This one, which is very common mistake. Probably. Probably. The stress pattern is different. Probably. Not probably. Not probably. It's probably. Probably. Okay. Yes. This? Federal. And we say federal. Federal. This one? Hierarchy. Hierarchy. Interpret. This one? Jewelry. Jewel. Not jewel. Jewelry. Library. Not library. 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 Often. Often. In Britain, they say often also. Now again, from country to country, it may differ. Like envelope and envelope. So we can say envelope or envelope also. Both could be correct. Now you try this. Yeah. Just because there is a cycle in it, it's not bicycle, it's bicycle. Yes. This one? What did they do with Jayalalitha yesterday? They buried her. Buried her. Not buried her. So it's a burial. तो एक ही मात्रा है और यू है. अगर हम हिंदी में लिख लेंगे तो हम ठीक लिख लेंगे. Even if we don't know phonetics, हम ब में ए की मात्रा लगा के र में छोटी ई की मात्रा लगा के य ल, burial, लिख सकते हैं. And we'll be pronouncing it correctly. So we can use Hindi as our phonetic language if we want. Blue. Blue. What is this? Blue. And this one? Just because there's a table? Comfortable. Yeah, there's no table. Oven. Bowl. Yes, I've had people who pronounce pronunciation wrongly because pronounce is pronounce and pronunciation is not pronunciation. Okay. Now here, opportunity, opportunity, there are so many ways in which people pronounce it. It's opportunity. This one is tough. This one is tough. Even people from English medium schools and convent schools and English literature and people they tend to get it wrong. It's tortoise. Tortoise. We tend to say tortoise. And this one, so. So. It's not like new. It's like so. It's so. Miracle. And this one, restaurant. Now because it has the French influence, so it's strong. It's not restaurant. It's not like rant. It's restaurant. Cassette. This one, ये तो सबको ही पता होगा. बोलने को डरने की कोई बात नहीं है. It's science. Yes, not science. There is a little bit of ya, ya. Science, science, and even science teachers don't get it right. So it's science. So there can be so many words and there can be so many errors, but बोलने को डरना नहीं चाहिए. No, there's no problem here. We can do meta communication because it's very difficult to get all our pronunciations right. We'll find some words which we realize we don't pronounce correctly, but we can, if we try our best, we can get our meta communication right. And these are exercises in meta communication, which sir is again going to take over and do it. Yes, we will do it together. Meta communication is the sound that you, or the intonation, volume, pitch, all the other things that you use along with your words to get your message across. Okay. This is the first one.
I request all the participants in the studio as well as in the Nodal Center, kindly read it. We will do this exercise. We have to use the word, same word, yes, but it should convey different meanings the way you pronounce it. Okay. So your meta communication will play an important role in this.
So we can have some center, or?
Yeah, maybe we can go to one of the centers, ma'am, again. Let's try KCT. बोले आज हैं यहाँ पर some different centers.
Yes, sir. You have to use only one word.
Let us try KCT Sangrur.
Hello.
KCT Sangrur.
Hello.
हाँ जी, आपको हमारी आवाज आ रही है संगरूर में?
Yes sir, very clear.
Okay. I want one volunteer from your side.
Yeah, I have one question for you.
We have to do the one word only yes.
Okay, that's fine.
Different meaning. When you are saying yes, and you are certain that you are saying yes.
No.
Saying yes when you are doubtful. I mean, you are saying the word yes only. Yes, but you are doubtful. Then indecision. You are not very sure, and you are saying the word yes. And then casting.
I listen clearly, sir.
Okay.
Okay.
First one.
Say yes with certainty.
So this is, hello,
Yes.
ma'am, this is my main problem. Because when I speak a sentence, then I can pronounce it very well. But when I speak a single word, I can't.
You
So
can't.
Yeah, single word I can't pronounce it properly. You know what I mean?
Okay.
Okay. Ask somebody else. Ask somebody else to do this exercise. Okay. Good.
Actually,
I do, ma'am.
Okay. Call the man.
No, what does he want? He wants me.
No.
He's calling from.
Haji.
hello.
Who will do it now at Sangrur?
Excuse me. Yes.
Yes, yes, ma'am. Yes,
Am I
ma'am.
connected?
ये कहाँ से मैम?
Yes.
जयपुर से.
The word would be certainty, doubt, indecision, and sarcasm.
Yes. You
Yes.
have to say yes
Yes.
with
Okay,
certainty.
certainty.
Okay.
Doubt.
Doubt, indecision.
No. You have to say the word yes. But you are doubting whether you are right. Want to say yes or no.
Are you okay? Let me ask you questions. You have to just say yes. Okay. I'm going to ask a question, and you have to say yes with certainty. Okay. Are you a teacher?
Yes.
Okay.
Are you an excellent teacher?
Yes.
So this was a doubt, but you have said the same word yes. And this season,
Certainly.
Doubt.
are you going to sleep for 10 hours tonight?
No.
No, you have to say yes.
Okay. All the time, yes. Yes.
You have to say yes. Okay. Now you mean no, and yet you have to say yes. You don't know. You are uncertain.
Uncertain.
So, okay.
Okay. Now sarcasm. Somebody, I mean,
You want to be sarcastic to somebody? You have to say yes.
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
you know, we often say that
Okay.
somebody is overdressed or something. We all always say yes. No? But same yes is conveying different meaning. Your meta communication plays an important role. How you pronounce a word.
Okay, ma'am. Let's do the next one.
Yeah.
Yes. Let's do this one. This time you say no. Okay.
Yeah.
Say only one word, no. Then you are definitely saying no. How do you say no?
No.
Okay. And well, maybe.
No.
Okay.
I am surprised to learn that.
No.
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 I'm annoyed to learn that.
Not at all. No.
No.
No. I'm pleased and surprised.
No.
No.
So your pronunciation can. This is how.
Just
the
that one word changes the way you are, and meta communication changes the meaning of that word.
Your tone, your volume, your speech, everything. Yeah, this is a very beautiful exercise. We are very fond of doing that. Let us go to some more center, maybe, or somebody can come over here. Anybody want to come over here and do
Yes,
this?
come.
Yes, ma'am. You come here.
You come here. You come here. We'll do this
You'll be able
together.
to see it here. Yes.
Come.
We have
What's your
Madam
name?
Kiran here.
Kiran ma'am has joined us. Okay.
Ma'am, you have to say the sentence.
Okay.
The sentence is, I like Dev.
I like them.
Okay. To bring out the following, different sense nikalni hai, but you have to use these three words only. I like Dev. Okay. A direct statement of fact, you mean literally what the words say.
I like Dev. Okay.
Okay. A contradiction of the literal meaning of the words, You definitely do not like they, but you have to say.
I like Dev.
Very good, very good.
But you are irritated and surprised also that how anyone could conceivably
Accuse you of liking Dev.
Dev.
I like Dev.
Very
Oh,
good.
very good. Yeah. See, that's you're indecisive as you are feeling about Dev.
Now you don't know. You've not
But
thought
you have
about
to
it.
say.
You don't know whether you like Dev or not.
I like Dev.
Okay.
Okay. Yeah.
You like only Dev and nobody else.
I like Dev.
Okay.
I like.
Amongst
I like
all the
Dev.
people present here, I'm Dev, and there's everyone else is here. Now you have to say, I like Dev.
I like Dev.
You're going to look at Dev and say, I like Dev.
I
You have to
like
give
Dev.
emphasis on Dev. I
Dev.
like Dev, not anybody else. Okay. Then specific indication that you liking for
this is
Dev and not ho gaya. You answered the question. Who likes Dev?
Now somebody asks, who likes Dev?
I like Dev.
I like Dev.
I like Dev.
Ah.
The
You
emphasis
say
is
I.
on I.
Emphasis come on
I like
I.
Dev. I like Dev.
Yes.
I like Dev.
I like Dev.
An aggressive and emphatic answer to the question, who could possibly care for a man like Dev?
Who can possibly like Dev?
Who can?
Who can like Dev?
I can.
I like Dev. I like Dev.
Again,
I like Dev.
I like Dev.
See, it changes with every question. Your answer is the same, but it's changing in meaning. Yeah.
Exactly. It is changing the tone and the feelings.
The meaning has changed.
The meanings.
By changing the tone, pitch, volume, and all those aspects I must said, the meaning of the word has changed. The same word, I like Dev. I like Dev. I like Dev.
I like Dev.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you stress on I, sometimes you stress on like, sometimes you stress on Dev, and you totally change the meaning. It's like in the beginning we did, why are you late? It's a similar kind of thing.
Similar kind of thing. Yeah, exactly.
Yes. An exercise in meta-communication.
Okay,
Thank you so much,
thank you.
Kiran.
Thank you.
That's all.
Yeah.
Or do we want to do this exercise with the centers? Or time is up?
Yeah, we call it.
Okay.
Let us ask for the questions.
Yeah, if
now.
you have any questions, I can try to answer. If you want to discuss
I
something,
think
some
this
experience.
has been a complete session on communication skills, right? From listening to speaking to reading and writing. Ma'am has covered almost all aspects, and particularly on articulation and pronunciation, given you a lot of exercises to be done on daily basis, especially before you go for a speech, formal speech. Those exercises are really very, very useful to all of us. Very, very useful. This not only helps us in articulate the pronunciation word properly, but also it helps us in killing the nervousness also. If you're feeling like nervousness and you're busy doing exercises, that also really,
takes
really
care of
helps.
that. Takes care of that. Yes.